Greetings from the top of Stone Mountain in Georgia. En route to Florida, we decided to stop in the Atlanta area to spend a couple of days with our friends. And we had a nice enough day, decided to go for a little hike.
Yeah, unlike Mount Rushmore, which most of you are pretty familiar with, Stone Mountain also is a rock carving, but they let you climb to the top of it. So you're actually climbing, like the carving is on the side of the mountain, and then you can actually hike up all the way to the top of the mountain. So you can't actually see the carving once you're up here, but it is a really very cool view of like the very large and suburb surrounding area of Atlanta, the urban sprawl of Atlanta, I guess. But it looks peaceful up here because really all you're seeing is the trees down below. But it is really cool. It's about a mile hike, pretty much straight up the side of the mountain. So we're talking like it's not paved, it's not dirt. You are hiking a stone mountain. So you want to make sure you have sturdy shoes, the right clothing, and just be prepared. So even though it's not like super strenuous, it's a good moderate hike.
I mean, you are walking up a mountain. There's a reason it's called Stone Mountain. It's a mountain. It's about what? Not quite 1,700 feet, I think, up here.
Is that what we said? Yeah.
Is the elevation. So,
and it's a little breezy here at the top. Not too bad, but a little bit.
I mean, we're here in late December and we're in shirt sleeves, so beats Michigan. So Stone Mountain itself, I mean, the famous carving is of the general and the president, the Confederate leaders is what it's known for. And if you don't want to do the hike up, there is a gondola that you can take the cable car up to the top. And then you can also hike up here and then take it just down if you want to do that. And there's supposed to be a really nice view of the carving, the carving when you are in that. And then there's a ton of tourist attraction type stuff in this park as well that you have to pay for, and there's tickets for that. If you want to come in and hike this trail and go to the top of the mountain, it's $20 for parking, and then after that you can get into the trail for free.
We've definitely seen all ages out here, little kids to grandma and grandpas and everybody in between. Like I said, it's a little bit of a not quite a strenuous hike, but depending on your athletic ability, you'll just want to know your limits. But you can take your time. There's no rush. It's not like it's timed or anything. There's a handrail in one section where it's a pretty steep uphill, but otherwise you're kind of on your own. We did see a few people with like the rubber tipped hiking poles, but you'll definitely want good sturdy shoes. The one thing to note is no dogs, no pets. There's just no facilities and it's just all rock. It's not really a place for them, and they don't want animals up here. So make sure you leave Fido in the car. And apparently sometimes there are restrooms available up here, but right now it says they're closed and there's some porta potties. So I don't know the story on that, but make sure you use the restrooms at the bottom of the hill. Those are regular restrooms, just a good tip to be aware of.
A couple of things about the hike up. There are places to stop and rest. There's some good sized boulders you can sit on and that kind of thing if you need to take a break. And the handrail's in a section that's a little steeper, and I think they did that because this is all on granite. You're on granite the entire time you're on the trail, and it can get slippery if it's a little bit wet or if it's been raining. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I kind of like it up here. It's got a pretty view. It's pretty hazy today, so we're not seeing nearly as far as we would normally, but I bet a nice clear summer day you could see for a long distance.
Right, and I highly recommend bringing the binoculars. I mean, I always travel with my binoculars, and this is a good place to use them because you can see downtown Atlanta skyline and you can see it out and around. So on a clear day, these would probably be much more handy, but even today, it's worth bringing them along. I also wanted to give a tip that as soon as you climb up the mountain, it's like packed with people because that's like the top of the mountain. If you go under the gondola, which you can totally do, and go to the other side of the gondola, there is nobody back here around us on the other side of the mountain, and you get a nice, really cool view of like East Georgia towards the Athens area. Anyway, so I highly recommend hopping under the gondola wires and coming over here to the other side of the mountain where it's nice and peaceful.
This is the side too where there is a campground here. So if you bring your rig and you stay, you can come to this side of the mountain and look down and say, hey, there's our trailer.
We did not do that on this trip, but we didn't know the campground was here, but now we do.
Something kind of fun.
Snack on the go.
A Kind Bar commercial?
Yes, very much. Kind Bar commercial. Not sponsored, not
yet.
Not yet, yeah. So the whole point of coming to Stone Mountain is to see Stone Mountain. Well, except for you can also go on a train ride a gondola, have a picnic, go to a historical village, see a carillon, go camping, go to a resort. Because apparently the Stone Mountain that you remember from your childhood is basically now a big tourist trap.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here compared to what it was 40 some years ago. I liked it when it was nice and quiet and you just came here to wander around and stare at the carving and maybe hike to the top of the mountain and it was nice and quiet. Now it's there's a lot of tickets for sale.
Yeah, everything. It's not only quite expensive just to get in, but then it seems like there's a paid attraction for everything. And we saw paid and decided we didn't want to do that. We just paid the basic parking fee, which was the $20 that then got you into the trails to hike to the top and to see the garden area. But yeah, if you want to do anything else, that's it would gonna get kind of pricey, I would think.
But for $20 parking, you can hike to the top of the mountain. You can come down to the bottom here and you can see the relief carving and everything. And oh, there is a free educational museum.
Yeah. Oh, that was really cool.
So we went into that and that explains sort of the history of Stone Mountain, the mountain itself, the geology and everything. That was kind of neat to see.
So far, the one thing we haven't found is the actual history of the carving itself, because apparently that is also a paid attraction inside of a building and that we are not doing.
It's in Memorial Hall is where the whole explanation of it is, and you have to pay because that's part of the paid attractions is Memorial Hall.
But the other building that we went into is free, and so that is, yeah, like you said, the history of the mountain, how it was actually formed from like the magma, the lava, the continents colliding together, the erosion. So that was actually kind of interesting. So worth a stop and pop in there. Plus there's restrooms.
And that building is right at the base of where you hike up the trail. For going to the top of the mountain. As far as location, it's right in the parking lot there. So if you wanted to see that, learn a little bit about the mountain before you hike it, maybe we did it afterwards.
Yeah, I would say before so you understand what you're hiking. And there was also a couple notes that of certain people's initials and carvings that were on the mountain that they said, oh, about a quarter way up in the trees on the left side, you'll see blah, blah, blah. And we're like, oh, well, we're not coming back up to go see that. So I would start at Centennial Hall and do that first and then take your hike up the mountain.
So if you want to embrace the chaos with all the people in the paid admissions, buy your tickets and come check out all the craziness that goes on here, or just take a nice quiet hike to the top of the mountain and maybe come down here to the free area and see the relief and see what this whole thing is all about. Either way, keep on trekking.
And we'll see you out there. Close-up. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.